Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over some of the best replacements for multiple players that are not going to be playing over the next few weeks, such as Cunha, Mateta, Lewis Hall, and Anthony Gordan. If you're excited for the video, drop a like down below. What are you doing with your FPL transfers this week? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, absolute carnage over the weekend during those FA Cup games. A lot of players suspended, a lot of players injured. We've now had a lot more updates about it as well. We do know now from today that Lewis Hall is going to miss the rest of the season with that injury that he picked up against Liverpool. Anthony Gordon's obviously missing a few fixtures because of the straight red card. Cunha is missing a few fixtures because of the straight red card. And then Mateta, because of the concussion injury, very likely to miss game week 28. And then, of course, in 29 as well. So a lot of people are going to be getting rid of those four players this week. So today, what I thought I'd do is I'd just go over the best sort of replacements in each of those positions, because it's striker, defender, and midfielder, and kind of break down the players that I would probably go with if I had any of those in my team. I'm in quite a fortunate position that I don't own any of them, so I don't have to worry about it too much. But for players that, again, like if you have 2 or 3 of those, very, very unlucky. But these are sort of some of the replacements I would think about going with. So let's start off with Lewis Hall in defense. Again, very, very likely to miss the rest of the season. I think Newcastle put out a statement earlier today. So yeah, you're gonna have to get rid of him. I mean, he blanks in 29 regardless, so a lot of people were probably going to be thinking about getting rid of him soon anyway. But now you definitely need to get rid of him, because he's just a player that's quite expensive on your bench that you're just not going to get anything out of. So these are the replacements that I'd go with. I think the best possible replacement is probably Aït-Nouri. He's coming in at 4.7 mil. Wolves have they've kind of sorted it out at the back recently. They haven't conceded a ton of goals. Obviously, they did concede 2 against Fulham, but then they kept a clean sheet against Bournemouth, only conceded 2 against Liverpool, didn't concede any against Villa, only conceded 1 against Arsenal. So they have kind of, I guess, strengthened it at the back. And the good thing about the Wolves players is they have a really good fixture in 28 with Everton at home, even better from a defensive standpoint as well, because Everton, they obviously keep the ball out of the back of the net, but they don't score like a crazy amount of goals. They have obviously been a lot better under Moyes, but Everton at home is definitely a fixture I would target with a defender. And then they've got Southampton away as well in blank game week 29, so that's honestly the best fixture you can have. So a lot of people are going to be targeting Wolves players. That's why a lot of people were going to go Cunha, because obviously it's such a good fixture. He's now going to miss that fixture, but Aït-Nouri still obviously the solid option from that Wolves team. And then even after blank game week 29, they have West Ham at home and then Ipswich away. So if you're bringing in Aït-Nouri, you're bringing him in for the next 4 fixtures, and he plays in all 4 of those. And you could even play him against Spurs and then United away if you had to, because those 2 teams, again, not playing very well at the moment. So Aït-Nouri is definitely my number one replacement for Lewis Hall. If you are obviously replacing him this week, maybe you can't replace him this week. Maybe you have to get rid of Cunha, or maybe you have to get rid of Anthony Gordon or somebody else first. But again, if you are getting rid of Hall, I would definitely go for Aït-Nouri. My second best option this week would probably be Mykolenko, just because he's got Wolves away and West Ham at home. As I just spoke about Everton, you know, they do keep the ball out of the back of the net quite a lot. And I think under Moyes, like I said, they have been so good. But yeah, for the next 2 fixtures, Wolves away, West Ham at home in blank game week 29. After that, the fixtures get really bad, so you would probably think about getting rid of him straight after blank game week 29, because he's got Liverpool away, Arsenal at home, Forest away. I mean, it's just a terrible run of fixtures for Everton. So it's good that Moyes has been picking up all the points now, because that is a horrible run of fixtures there. But yeah, Mykolenko's been solid, plays 90, been very, very good going forward as well. Did pick up an assist against Brentford. So yeah, really like Mykolenko. I'd always think about bringing in Kerkez or maybe Huijsen or somebody just from the Bournemouth back line. I prefer Kerkez just because he's more attacking. But I guess on corners and stuff, Huijsen is also a very, very good threat. Spurs away this week. Not the most ideal fixture, but still a fixture that I think Bournemouth can easily keep a clean sheet in. And then they've got Brentford at home in 29, which is a pretty nice fixture. And then even after 29, they've got Ipswich at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Palace away, Man United at home. So a really, really nice fixture run for Kerkez. And like I say, if you don't have the money for him, you can also go to, I can't remember how to spell his name. It's basically the Bournemouth defender. It's Hoyce, something like that. There we go. He's only 4.5 mil, so he's a lot cheaper than Kerkez. He's actually 0.5 cheaper. And he could be an option you go with instead. Again, does have a really nice goal threat on corners. But apart from that, he's just your normal centre-back. He's not going to be getting as many attacking returns as Kirk in my opinion. So either one of those Bournemouth defenders. I'd also take a look at going for Gvardiol as well if you do have a bit more money in the bank. I think City have a pretty nice fixture run now up until the end of the season, really. They don't really have any team that they can't beat. Probably their hardest fixture for the remainder of the season is most likely going to be Forest away, which is obviously the only red fixture on the FDR rating as well. But they've got Forest away this week, which again could just be a cagey game like the Arsenal game was. And then they've got Brighton at home in 29, really nice fixture. Leicester at home in 30, United away in 31, Palace at home, Everton away, Aston Villa at home, Wolves at home. So, like, it's just a really nice fixture run for Gvardiol. And he is a little bit expensive in 5.9, but I think Lewis Hall is still... Lewis Hall's 5 mil. So if you can find that 0.9 from somewhere, he's a very, very nice player to bring in. And I think, yeah, City haven't obviously been great this season, but it is definitely a team that you can start thinking about targeting now just because the remainder of the fixtures for them this season are actually really good. And they have found a little bit of form recently as well, albeit apart from the Arsenal and the Liverpool game. They've actually been pretty good. Which is definitely obviously a good thing for Gvardiol. But he's always been in and around the goals as well anyway, even if they haven't been keeping clean sheets. But anyway, those are the Lewis Hall replacements. Moving on to midfield and the Anthony Gordan replacements. My best replacement will probably just be Kluivert or a Semenyo. I probably wouldn't go near Dango anymore because Evan Nilsson's back, so he's going to be obviously biting into his minutes. But Kluivert on penalties... has improved minutes-wise as well. He was usually getting like 60 to 70, but, you know, he got 90 against Brighton, 72 against Wolves, 76 against Southampton, 90 against Liverpool, 87 against Forest, 90 against Newcastle. So his minutes have been a lot better. As I say, he's on penalties. Bournemouth are a very, very good attacking side. And again, just like we've spoken about for Kirkes and Huijsen, he's got some really nice fixtures coming up and has that blank game week 29 fixture at Brentford at home. So definitely a player that I would think about targeting if you are trying to get rid of Anthony Gordan. Another player that I like him as an option, but maybe he's not the best player to bring in. He's definitely not the player that I would put at the top of the list for Anthony Gordan replacements, and it is Brian Mbeumo, or Mbeumo. He's got Villa at home and Bournemouth away, so two okay-ish fixtures, and then obviously got some pretty bad fixtures after that. But Brentford have been very, very good lately. He's on penalties. You know, they've been scoring a lot more goals, and I do really like him as an option. Maybe a bit biased because he's been in my team pretty much all season. Again, not the best replacement at all for Gordan. I think maybe a Bournemouth midfielder over the next few fixtures is ideally better. But obviously, yeah, Mbeumo, Villa at home this week, Bournemouth away. Not terrible. And then maybe you'd think about getting rid of him in game week 30. Maybe you're wildcarding in 30 or 31 regardless. But he's one option you could target. And then also Jared Bowen as well. Newcastle at home, Everton away, Wolves away, and then Bournemouth at home in the next 4. If this guy was on penalties, he'd be even better. But, I mean, he's on penalties when certain players aren't on the pitch. But they've got, like I say, some okay fixtures coming up. He's been in the heart of all the goals lately. Again, he's had 2 double-digit returns in the last 4 games. Obviously, he has just come back from that injury. But yeah, he's finding that form again. And under Potter, West Ham have been a lot better as well. So I really like him as an option. I think he's solid replacement for Gordan. And yeah, again, until like over the next 4 fixtures anyway, and then maybe you think about moving him on. So those are the midfielder replacements. And then the striker replacements for Cunha and Mateta. My top replacement would probably be... I don't really know how to rank these because Strand Larsen's obviously going to be in the team now. Like, he has lost his place playing 45, 25 minutes recently. But with Cunha out, he's going to be back in the team because they're going to need that goal scorer. And I mean, he hasn't scored since game week 19. But again, he hasn't been playing a lot. Like, he did play 390 minutes after that. But that was against Forest away. Tough, Forest at home, should I say. Tough fixture. Newcastle away, tough fixture. Then Chelsea away, tough fixture. And then he obviously got dropped against Arsenal at home. And then they've had just some tough fixtures over that, like Villa at home, Liverpool away. Not ideal, but with Cunha out, he is going to be playing, and they do have some really, really nice fixtures coming up, as I said, with 8-0. He's got Everton at home, Southampton away, West Ham at home, and Ipswich away. He's a player that you probably bring in until Cunha's back, because he's probably going to lose his place once Cunha's back, which is fair enough, but he's only 5.2 mil. I owned Strand Larsen earlier in the season when he went on a decent run. I think I owned him when he scored a brace. Might have been that brace against Bournemouth, but that was a really nice fixture, and he was all right. He's just, I mean, that's just when Wolves weren't really creating a lot. Without Cunha as well, they're also not going to be creating a lot because he is their most creative player. So even though the fixtures are really, really nice for Wolves, they have lost their talisman. So he's an all right option if you're playing the fixtures, but and again, he's cheap as well with only 5.2. An even cheaper player, though, is Beto, the Everton striker, who obviously went on a ridiculous run of goal-scoring form. Got 2 against Leicester, got 1 against Liverpool, 1 against Palace, 1 against United. Did blank against Brentford, but as we said with Mikolenko, he's got Wolves away and West Ham at home coming up over the next 2 fixtures. And then maybe you get rid of him in game week 30 if you are thinking of wildcarding. But he did just score against Liverpool, so maybe you keep him for that fixture. But Beto, only 5 mil. I really like him as an option. And again, he's so cheap. He's the cheapest out of these strikers today. So you can go with Beto if you'd like to. And then finishing things off, we also have Chris Wood. He's got a very tough fixture this week, City at home. I think he can still score in that fixture, though. I don't think it's a fixture that, you know, is as scary as recent seasons. And he has scored against City before as well. I can't remember if it was last season or the season before, but he did score against City at home. I think we drew with them 1-1. But then after that, Ipswich away, United at home, Villa away, Everton at home, Spurs away. I mean, he is just a player you can keep for the remainder of the season. Obviously, when doubles kind of get revealed and stuff, then maybe you want to get rid of him for somebody else. But I think for the next few fixtures, he's just a safe bet. He's on penalties. Obviously, Forest have been very, very good lately. Well, this whole season, really. Chris Wood's been a massive part of that as well. He's had his best goal-scoring season. So yeah, I like Wood as an option as well. He's just a little bit more expensive. He's basically 1.9 mil, 2 mil more than Beto. So you obviously have to pay a little bit more for that. But obviously you get the penalties and you get the better fixtures over the long run. But those would be my replacements for all the positions for Lewis Hall, Anthony Gordan, Mateta, and Cunha as well. Let me know your thoughts on these players. What transfers are you making if you do own any of those injured or suspended players? Thank you for watching though. Leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.